Welcome to QI, where tonight we are quenching our thirst at the bar with a show all about quaffing. Chin chin, it's Joe Brand. Mine's a large one, Phil Jupiter's. 3 sheets to the wind, it's Prue Leith. And would you mind stepping out of the vehicle, please, sir? It's Alan Davies. Right, the buzzers are on the house, so what can I get you? Prue goes. Pina coladas. Phil goes. Joe goes. And Alan goes. I am the cider drink. Right. When might it be a good idea to order 300 gin and tonics?
Tuesday.
It's a bit late in the week, frankly, to be doing it. Let's think it through. What is in gin and tonic?
Quinine.
Quinine is in. And why might you want quinine?
Isn't it good for stopping mosquitoes biting you?
No, it doesn't stop mosquitoes biting you, but it used to be a treatment for...
Malaria?
For malaria, yeah. So the problem is that today's tonic contains very little. So in order for it to be effective, you would really have to drink 300 gin and tonics every single day.
I accept that prescription.
I mean, don't try it, because too much quinine is unbelievably bad for you. You can get abnormal heart rhythms, you can get double vision. I think that's the gin, actually, if I'm honest with you.
Like I haven't got an abnormal heart rhythm already. Seriously, it's like a jazz band.
But it's true that some of those malaria pills make you blind or make you see wrong.
I mean, some of the new stuff is also, I think, not very good. I've known people to have what can only be described as a psychotic reaction, usually while sharing a tent with me, which is not fun.
I went to Bolivia and had to take them, and you have mad dreams.
Yeah, crazy dreams.
No.
Oh, wow, it was great. I bought a load.
The only person I can think who might have accepted the actual challenge of 300 gin and tonics a day is Clarissa Dixon Wright. You may remember one half of the TV chef duo, Two Fat Ladies. She once got so ill, the doctors thought she had malaria. She had something called sticky blood. It's a condition that is usually suffered by people who have taken too many quinine tablets over a long period. It turned out she had quinine poisoning from too many gin and tonics. She was drinking 6 pints of tonic a day over 12 years.
I don't even know what quinine is, do you?
It comes from the bark of the cinchona tree.
Oh.
So the...
Quite interesting.
Thank you, darling. I'm working my arse off here, so thank you for that. So the Quechua people, who were the indigenous people of South America, they knew about it long before the Europeans.
Because they lived there.
Because they lived there, exactly.
The Europeans are at a massive disadvantage with the fauna of South America.
Yeah.
And the flora.
But the really sad thing is that it was the Europeans who brought malaria to them. So the malaria did not exist.
Oh, and now we have to go there to catch it. Very, very odd, isn't it? So what, do you get it out the bark and what?
Yeah, so you have to
it?
distill it. You have to distill it
from the bark?
From the bark.
Boil it up and then drips it out? Or how do you do that, even?
Well, it's a very long chemical process, and it was first done in 1820 by 2 French scientists. But it changed the face of the world. Why might that be?
You could just go to more horrible places.
Well, you could go to places that you wanted to colonise. Yeah.
Paint the whole map pink.
Exactly right, Prue. You could suddenly go to India and parts of Africa.
Give them gonorrhea instead.
Yeah. Yeah. Give us your land, we'll give you an itch in an uncomfortable place. There you go.
Is that a quinine tree?
That is the cinchona tree.
That looks like a beech tree to me.
Looks like a good climber, do you not think? You could easily climb up that
Not
tree.
for a fat person.
But in Britain, it saved the reputation of gin because when quinine was discovered as a thing that would possibly cure malaria, gin, which had been the drink of the poorer classes, suddenly became a drink that everybody was happy to drink. Gin and tonic became quite the thing.
Certainly the drink of the colonies.
Yeah, sitting in the club and having a gin and tonic. Quinine also responsible for the invention of modern dyes. So there was a gentleman called Sir William Henry Perkin, and he wanted to make a synthetic version of the drug. He failed, actually. So there he is. He was only 18 when he did this. There he is, 18. After. It is actually a before and after picture.
300 gin and tonics.
Yeah. His
He's very nice looking both times.
He was a handsome fellow.
Handsome boy, handsome man.
He did well, and he invented Movine. It's the very first artificial colour ever invented. Changed the world of fashion. But what he was trying to do was actually to make quinine.
I want to heal people, I want to heal people, I want to make people look fabulous.
But the pre-quinine malaria treatments, they were just as bizarre as they were desperate. So I love this one. In medieval Europe, it was thought that it would work if you were thrown headfirst into a bush, and if you got out quickly enough to leave the fever behind, that would sort you out.
God, if someone landed in my bush trying to... I'd be well pissed off.
You're not leaving your fever there. Get out of it.
Also eat an onion with Amen written on it. Is it good for you, Prue, to eat a raw onion? I would have thought.
My mother used to have onion sandwiches, raw onion sandwiches, white bread, lots of butter, raw onions. It's delicious.
Tell her to put some cheese in. Lovely.
It used to be called Roman fever malaria, and it's thought to be one of the reasons for the end of the Roman Empire. It's one of the oldest illnesses in the world. We have discovered mosquitoes with the malaria parasite in it, fossilised in amber, that are 30 million years old. And still to this day, about 1 million people a year die from it. It's a truly terrible disease. It comes from medieval Italian, Malaria, so it means bad air.
Bad air.
Not a good thing. I do like this. In 2014, a Californian firm made a perfume that made cows smell like humans so that mosquitoes would bite them instead of us. Oh. It's rather good, isn't it? Because cows can't get malaria, apparently. The other alternative cure is Viagra.
Pardon me?
Yes, apparently a fairly effective way of treating malaria, as it can improve the spleen's ability to filter the parasite from...
Excellent. My malaria's gone and I've got somewhere to put this towel.
Prue, I'm so sorry.
I know.
I
Sorry,
didn't warn-
Prue.
It's OK. I'm too old to understand it. I don't know what you're doing.
Right, that's your G&T. Now time for some shots. So you've all got a shot glass of something beside you. So, Alan, having a look at yours, what do you think it might be?
Do you want me to drink it?
You can have a taste, yes, have a taste.
A taste?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, is it... If I drank it all, would I die?
No, I'm not allowed to kill you.
It sounds to me like you've said that before.
I have to say the contract this year has been particularly tricky to negotiate. What does it taste of?
I just drank that. I've got no idea what it is.
Any thoughts of what it tastes of?
It tastes... I'm getting...
I'm getting gravel from the A1
inside of a wardrobe. It hasn't been opened in a couple of years.
It's as close as we can get to what the gladiators used to drink. So they quaffed a drink which was made from ash, vinegar and water in order to help... Are you enjoying it more or less now?
Basically, what you're drinking there is a burnt-down chip shop.
Yeah,
So-
I'm getting Savaloys.
What we know is the gladiators were mostly vegetarian. They had a diet of lots of lentils and lots of beans. We know this from QI's great friend Pliny the Elder. I have to say, things he wrote, we have to take them with a little bit of a pinch of salt, because he also said drinking bull's blood cures snake bites and turnips provoke lust.
I can't argue with that.
These are kind of early energy drinks. And the nearest we can find to the kind of ash thing is activated charcoal shots. And people do drink them now, and adherents say it's fantastic for, I don't know, hangovers, increasing your energy. I have to warn you that it can cause constipation and make your poo black. Just
No
in case.
change there.
OK, so a little bit of ash for you. Let's come on to Phil. So, charioteers.
I'm straight away malt vinegar right out of the trap.
OK.
Some malt vinegar. It tastes like watered-down malt vinegar, but I'm getting a bit of a salty back end on it.
Yeah, so, well...
I think
You've said that before as well.
Had we been able to do this properly, a salty back end is exactly what's missing, because what they drank was indeed vinegar, which had been watered down, but it also had dung in it, which would be your salted down back end right there.
So what is in
this is just posca, which is vinegar and water. It would have lots of good calories in it. It would have been a perfectly healthy thing, good for your gut and so on. Even Nero, who fancied himself as a charioteer, he swore by a good old draught of pig dung and vinegar to help you with your recovery. Did you like it?
No.
No. So, did we not go through a period where people were using ash to cook things?
I don't know whether they did it intentionally, but certainly there'd been a lot of ash around, and people have often used ash to preserve cheeses and bury cheese in ash. And I think babies were given it for something or other, croup or something.
That's when they used to be allowed to smoke fags. When they had a cup of tea in their bottles, you know, way
Brandy on the lips to get them to sleep.
Yeah, no, brandy on the lips. My nan used to put like a shot of brandy in the baby's milk. Like, yeah, that's a shot. You're a baby. You've had a brandy.
Sorry, you're saying
Look at me. Look at me. Thanks, Nan.
She just wanted you to shut up and go to sleep.
Quite right. Right, Joe, let's have a go with you.
It looks like liquid hopelessness to me.
Do you like it?
It tastes like ginger beer.
It is just ginger, my darling. It's a stimulant. Ginger, wherever it's been available, has been used, has it not, as a
medicine.
As a medicine. Here's the thing. If you drank that, how would you feel about drinking from a toilet bowl?
Love it.
Well, one of the weirdest things about drinking ginger is apparently it suppresses feelings of disgust. So they did a study in 2019 in the Journal of the American Psychological Association.
Maybe I'll have sex with my husband tonight.
You see your wife having a ginger ale before bed. Oh, I see. I understand. I'll just get me back.
So mildly disgusting things like snot in a napkin or something, you would feel... Yeah, ugh.
Have that on some toast.
If you have that, if you have the ginger first, apparently you don't feel as disgusted. Somehow the ginger suppresses the disgust.
I quite like the concept of snot on a napkin, though. That sounds like an upmarket restaurant.
It's like a cocktail. And have a snot on the napkin.
All right, Prue, let's have a go.
You better have a ginger ale first.
What can you smell?
I gave it a sniff to see that professional.
Oh, yes.
I have no idea what this is, but I have drunk it before.
It's a modern energy drink. You don't like the taste of it?
Well, it's a bit sweet. What is
Well,
it
it's
made of?
the...
Crack. That'll be the
Sugar and caffeine and something called taurine, which is supposed to be even more stimulating than caffeine. They're pretty much all those.
So if I have it all, I'll be jumping.
High as a kite, darling, high as a kite. So these are all energy drinks from a long time ago. This is the most modern one that we've come to here. The money made by it is more than the fragrance and cannabis market combined. It is worth an absolute fortune.
And since it's absolutely stuffed full of sugar,
Yeah.
all it's doing is making you fat.
Your
No.
point being...
Right. What might you want to have done with your own ashes? If you don't want to turn it into a drink, what could you do with your own ashes? Any thoughts? Might be
Oh,
useful.
yeah, well...
Yeah, if you say, you leave it in your will, you say, when I'm dead,
it
please
can be a
cremate me.
firework, it can be turned into a jewel, it
Yeah.
can be all manner of things.
So my favourite thing is that you can turn the ashes of a loved one into a drinking cup. So I love this because you could, theoretically, drink an ash drink for energy out of the ashes of somebody you loved who is dead. I know, it's quite weird, isn't it? Apparently you can also make them into a tattoo.
What?
Yes.
What?
They make it into ink and turn it into a tattoo. You can be made into a pencil lead, cuddly toy. There's no end of things.
I could be a pencil lead.
Well...
I'm 56. Oh, the irony.
I think you could be a whole set of pencils, my darling. Right, drinks away, please. Time to go from quaffing to scoffing, but we are staying with the letter Q. Can you name a cereal crop that begins with a Q? Yes.
Quaker oats.
Quaker Oats is as close as we were able to find ourselves. You are exactly right. You get extra points.
It's not quinoa, because I think quinoa isn't a grass.
It is not a grain, it's a seed.
It's a seed.
mammal.
It's a seed. Yeah, it's a mammal. No, it's a seed, so strictly speaking, it cannot be classified as a cereal. And in fact, you know, it's good news for the Ashkenazi Jews, for example. They're not allowed to eat grains over Passover, whereas they can eat quinoa.
Bad luck to them. It tastes shit.
I
always think it's one of those foods that you need to add actual food to it to make it taste
like
of anything.
a cake.
Yeah.
Have you had quinoa?
Of course I've had
Of course he
quinoa.
has. Do you like it?
No. It's annoying on your plate. It's annoying in your mouth. It's irritating stuff.
Have you cooked with it, Prue?
Yeah, of course I've cooked with it.
You like it?
Yeah, I like it, but I agree with you, it needs help.
Here's the thing about quinoa. It's a superfood. It contains a lot more protein than most plants, plenty of iron, high in vitamin E. It also has all 10 amino acids needed to support human life. I mean, I say this in fairness. Haribo contains 9 of the so-called
I really
building
want
blocks.
to believe that.
That is true. Haribo has 9 of the building blocks of life.
Haribo a day keeps the doctor away.
But if you had a quinoa-only diet, you'd have anemia. I think you'd probably have scurvy. You wouldn't be able to clot blood. It's not a good idea. But it does contain another Q, quercetin, and that is very good. Antiviral, anti-cancer, anti-inflammatory, antidepressant. I mean, it has lots of good stuff in it. Here is
What does quinoa?
Quinoa, yeah, it has lots of good stuff in it.
Yeah,
It's that-
but it's got antidepressants in it, and you look at it and feel like killing yourself. It's all Carol Vorderman's fault.
Is it?
Yeah, well, she wrote the first cookery book that's had quinoa in it. I remember it well. I wept that day.
Whatever happened to semolina?
I agree with you. What's
Where's
happened?
that gone?
That's gone. No, nobody uses semolina.
I hate semolina.
Do you?
If you make a pie and it's likely to have a soggy bottom,
Yes.
I'm listening.
if you put a layer of semolina in the bottom of the pie, it will soak up those juices and you'll have a nice, crisp, non-soggy bottom.
And you won't taste it? You won't taste the semolina?
It's just wheat, so it's just like pastry.
I love that. Anybody know what quinoa plant looks like?
Yeah, I went to Bolivia. I saw quinoa
Right.
fields.
It is actually rather beautiful. It's got colours which come from a type of pigment called betulin. It's the same chemical gives beetroot its colour, isn't it? It's rather lovely. Also contains saponins, which are soap-like chemicals, and in fact, Andean cultures use those soapy husks as shampoo. And NASA are looking at quinoa as a possible food for long space missions.
Lucky astronaut.
I know, yay!
Another reason not to get on one of that, and you've got to sit with Richard Branson for 50 years.
Seeing as we have Prue on the panel, I thought I should test your baking skills, the rest of you. So we're going to make some Danish lemon quaffles. And Prue, I'm going to ask you to judge, please. So everybody bring out your tray with your ingredients. So, Prue, that is the instructions. Have you made Danish lemon quaffles before, Prue?
I don't think they exist.
Don't be ridiculous. Right. OK, here we go. So,
Before we can start our quaffle making, Sandy, I
Yes.
don't wish to... I appear to be given a chair from Sandy's house.
Right, you've got 1 egg, 1/2 cup of buttermilk, 5 teaspoons of baking soda, 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla, 1 cup of lemon juice, 1 cup and a quarter of sugar, 7/8 of a cup of all-purpose flour, and 8 tablespoons of melted butter. Prue, what are the instructions, please?
All right, in a small bowl, beat the egg until foamy.
The egg's foamy or until you're foamy.
No, you've got to beat it up.
Until it's foamy.
Come on, foam up, you bastard!
That looks foamy. What do you reckon?
Is that foamy?
OK, now.
Yeah?
All right.
Put it in a pan and get the beans warmed up.
No. Add the buttermilk and vanilla
Which one's the buttermilk?
That's
that
the
it?
white one.
Ooh, it's gloopy.
and blend it well.
Yeah, so, and the vanilla,
Is that the
darling.
vanilla?
Yeah, that's
yes.
vanilla.
I was hoping
Yeah.
that was a shot of Glenfiddich.
Sandy.
Other movies are available.
Sandy!
Yeah.
Can I lick the bowl, Sandy?
Not a minute. We've got a bit more
Thank
work
you,
to
Sandy.
do.
Add the baking soda, 1 teaspoon at a time, sprinkling it and beating until the mixture is smooth and the consistency of light cream.
Alan, you can do this, right? And beating.
Sandy, you should keep that other show where it belongs.
There's your teaspoon. Let me help you. There we go. Sprinkling it in.
How much baking soda? The whole lot?
All of it. Let's get...
OK.
That's
Thankfully, there's
cheeky.
some skills I had as a young man that are becoming useful.
OK.
I wanted a baker's...
Listen.
Right.
Now, hey.
Have I got a ball of it?
One at a time. Get it in there. Oh, darling, it'll take forever. Let me come and
go
help you.
faster.
What? 1 teaspoon at a time.
Where's
Don't
the
rush.
teaspoon?
It's there. It's
All right,
there.
don't shout at me.
Don't leak. Oh.
There we go.
When's the lemon and the
Faster.
sugar
Don't
going?
worry, we're still doing it. We're doing it. Okay,
Assisted by Sandy.
okay, all right.
This is pretty good.
Yeah, now what?
I used
All
to
right.
charge a £5 for this.
Now, this...
You had to have the right money.
Oh, there was a queue round the block. Yeah, OK, so I've done that.
Yep.
pour the mixture into the beaker.
Oh, a beaker, is it?
Okay,
Yeah.
all that in there.
Ah!
It's gonna be
We don't want to
absolute-
go in the beaker! Go in the beaker! Go in the beaker! No, we want to be back in our individual bowls!
OK.
Do you ever cook with your children?
Yeah, frequently. They like the process, but they won't eat anything.
OK, add the lemon juice all at once and blend into the mixture.
Blend, how'd you... Oh, no, I spilt some in the egg cup. Oh, that was great.
That was fab,
That was
wasn't
really
it?
good.
It was fab.
Oh.
Real food?
No, darling.
This is bullshit!
Phil, you've still got a cup of sugar.
Anybody know why that happened?
Something to do with the acid.
I think it happened because Prue doesn't know how to cook.
So the lemon juice is acid and it mixes with the baking powder, which is a carbonate, and that is what happens.
How do you make a lemon cake?
Is
then?
it by...
Baking soda.
OK.
So it forms CO2 and it foams up in that way.
Especially if you put 5 teaspoons in it, which
Yeah.
is about 4.5 more than you'd normally use.
Yeah, we were rather determined that it should work.
I think it did.
Obviously, we invented Danish lemon quaffles because it begins with a Q. Could I recommend to you a Penn and Teller book called How to Play with Your Food, and the recipe's in there. It's called Swedish Lemon Angels. But what a great thing to make with your kids, and wasn't Prue fantastic getting out the instructions there. Baking on television. It'll never catch on. Now for a question on quips. Phil, how many jokes would you exchange for this person?
Well, it's my child, so... I've got to be honest, it's a buyer's market.
So this is your daughter, Emily.
Yeah.
And Emily is now one of the elves here. She works for us on QI. But we learnt this wonderful thing in between the 5th and the 2nd century BC in Athens. Comedians were known as parasitos. Literally means...
We still are.
Literally means parasites.
Painkiller.
So spongers. And they made a living by turning up at dinner parties uninvited, and they would exchange jokes for food. And they had their own joke books and kept them updated.
That's why we're such brilliant comics. Look at the size of us.
One or two dinners.
Yeah.
So there was a parasitos called Soturio, and he kept a whole chestful of joke books at home, and he offered up 600 of his quips, his jokes, as a dowry for his daughter. So we thought, well, let's extend this and let's have your daughter as a hostage and see how many jokes you would exchange. So
OK.
if you can make the audience laugh, I will release her.
OK. A salesman knocks on the door of a house, and the door opens, and there's a 5-year-old child standing there with a cigar and a balloon of brandy. And the salesman looks at the little boy and goes, "Hello, little boy." He goes, "All right." He goes, "Are your mum and dad in?" And he goes, "Does it look like they are?"
OK, release the child. So the ancient Greeks had stand-up comedy nights, but a lot of the time only other comedians would attend. There was a group in...
What's the one on the right doing to the one on the right?
I believe that's the beginning of improv.
The one on the left's not keen on it. The second left's going, look at him, look at him! Look at him or I will torch you!
Anyway, Anyway, there used to be a thing called the Group of 60, and they were Athenian wits who got together and exchanged jokes. And so one of the ways you would tell a joke in Athens, you would say, the 60 said, and so on. But the very first joke book that Europe ever had was published by, anybody have a guess? We are talking in the mid-1400s.
Ladybird.
Well, the Vatican published it. It was utterly obscene. They had a sort of joke club called the Bugiali. It was literally a fib factory. There was a papal secretary called Poggio Bracciolini, and he kept a record of all these jokes. And he published it, 273 puns and jokes, mostly the usual stuff, farts, erections, obesity...
Rubbish at reading, isn't he? Look at him.
Yeah.
Excuse me, is that Athena? The frame of my picture has fallen on my head.
He's famous for having beautiful handwriting. He is the creator of the very first Roman font, and we think he's the man behind Times New Roman that we use today.
Today, I will come up with dingbats.
Right. Now, what was the most exciting diet in history?
I reckon in the Siege of Paris. Because they ate the zoo animals.
They did, darling. 1870, there were recipes for elephant.
Elephant. There were recipes for his trunk and his, whatever you call it.
Yeah.
Cock.
I believe some roosters were eaten as well. So that is an interesting one, but it's possibly not the most exciting diet. At the end of the 19th and indeed the beginning of the 20th century, there were professional fasters. They were called hunger artists. And these were people who would, in public, see who could fast for the longest.
I'd love to do that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, if we all stopped eating now, if we didn't have any food, the five of us, would me and Joe last longer because we're fat?
How dare you?
I point out I'm much heavier than Joe. I'll slaughter her in a fasting competition.
It's not a competition, but do are these reserves? Or is it...
Yes, of course we would last longer.
Do you?
Yeah. Don't you think?
I don't know that's necessarily true. I think it depends on your metabolism and your ability to survive.
Yeah.
So how long do you think you would last? Because if you could last for a very long time, you could make thousands and thousands of pounds.
A year.
There was a guy called Giovanni Succi. He was paid more than £250,000 back in 1890. He lasted 40 days on stage in London.
And afterwards, he had missed eating so much, he went on to found Pringles.
What we now reckon is, doesn't matter about your initial body weight, you'd probably last 8 to 12 weeks.
OK.
All of us would be about the same. But this fad, it started in 1880. There was a doctor called Henry Tanner, and he bet that he could live on water for 40 days, and he made an absolute fortune from people just coming to stare at him. There was a woman called Molly Flancher. She was also known as the Brooklyn Enigma, and she claimed she had psychic abilities due to starvation, and she was challenged to do it for 40 days with round-the-clock observation by doctors, but she said, the doctors are bound to be male, I'm not going to do it, because, you know, modesty would prevent me from doing this. The truth is, on the whole, it was discovered people had been secretly eating. Anybody remember the last one in sort of in popular...
Oh, it's David Blaine in the box.
Yeah, he did 44 days in the box.
I went to see him. Did you go and see him? When I went, it was quite late at night and people were throwing eggs at him, which I thought was rude.
How long would you last if without water, though?
Not anywhere near as long. I mean, you must have
3 days.
So you must have some hydration of some kind. There's a rule of 3. You can survive 3 hours without shelter, you can survive 3 days without water, and 3 weeks without food is the sort of rule of 3.
What was the first one?
You can survive 3 hours without shelter.
This cricket match is longer than that.
I mean, the one that is extraordinary is the breatharian diet. Does anybody know what the breatharian diet is?
Is it breathing air?
Just that. Literally just that. There's this thing, prana, which you're supposed to live on. It's a Sanskrit word, and it translates as life air or life force. Have you met a breatharian? I haven't. I presume they're the only people...
I presume they're all dead.
They claim to live purely off light and air. I would guess they're the only people who can bore vegans at dinner parties. Patrick Moore wrote a wonderful book called Can You Speak Venusian? And he established that the leader of the breatharians did actually eat much like everybody else, but not as well, because all he was able to do was rely on places open very late at night when nobody saw him go. So he... not eating a good diet. Definitely don't try it at home.
That's the garage, isn't it?
So that's basically pork pies and quavers, isn't it?
Brahmin. Quinces.
Yeah. What's the least amount of food anything can survive on?
Any human?
No, anything. A living being.
2% of your body weight or something?
2% of your body weight? I mean, we need at least 1,200 calories, don't we, the human beings?
Only 1,200?
That's 3 muffins.
A team from the University of Southern California has recently discovered microbes that genuinely seem to survive on almost nothing. This is an astonishing story. So, the sediments of the Pacific Ocean, they have been found living there, and based on how much oxygen has depleted over the ages, researchers propose that they may have been alive for 75 million years. They've certainly been alive for an extraordinarily long period of time. They don't do anything apart from really, really slowly metabolizing really, really small amounts of food. What is extraordinary, so say they've been alive for 75 million years, that time, if they can understand time, will have passed really quickly for them, because an animal's ability to perceive time is linked to the speed of its metabolism. So imagine you've got a very fast metabolism. It sends signals to your brain much more quickly. So a fly has very, very fast metabolism. So signals go to the brain incredibly quickly. So a newspaper coming at it seems to move rather slowly, and that means that the fly can get away much more quickly.
You never can swat them.
You've got a couple of 75-million-year-old microbes at the bottom of the Pacific going, where have the dinosaurs gone?
Yeah. it is that.
They were here 10 minutes ago.
Oh, so are they not going, well, he's evolved, she's evolved, they all evolved, he's gone on land now,
Oh.
that one. Here we are, still at the starting gate. What's going wrong with us?
Do you remember that comet?
Which one?
What about that asteroid? That was a bang,
Oh,
wasn't it?
it's big, wasn't it?
Anyway, 75 million. Isn't that astonishing?
Yeah, brilliant.
Now, what would newlyweds do with these?
That's got to be a love apple of some sort.
It's certainly associated with love. We're in the letter Q, so it's a fruit beginning
It's a
with
quince.
Q. It is a quince. From ancient Greek times, right up to the present day, been associated with love and marriage. And in fact, in the 6th century BC, the Athenian lawmaker Solon decreed that during the wedding, every bride and bridegroom shall be shut into a chamber and eat a quince together. You don't like them, Prue? You've got a
Darling,
look face.
raw quinces are disgusting.
I've had quince jelly, which is
Yeah,
delicious.
quince jelly is delicious. It's stuffed full of sugar and it's cooked for a very long time and it's lovely. But very unkind to make them eat. They must have been desperate to get on with matters.
I mean, certainly in terms of British food, until the 19th century, all fruit was cooked. It was regarded as very bad for your system to eat anything that was raw. The ancient Greeks have a story that quince trees sprung up wherever Aphrodite, the goddess of love,
had a wee.
walked. Her father, Uranus, was castrated by his son, Cronus, and the genitals, Uranus' genitals, were thrown into the sea, and the foam created by the genitals, out of that rose Aphrodite. And in fact, if you look at the Wikipedia page on Aphrodite, her parents are listed as Uranus' severed genitals, which is... Anybody think of a famous poem with quince in it?
Oh, they dined on mince and slices of quince, ate up with a runcible spoon by Snoop Dogg.
Anybody know what a runcible spoon is?
A spoon formerly owned by the Archbishop of Canterbury.
No, it's not anything he made it up. It just fitted in the poem. But up until the 16th century, quince was considered to be an aphrodisiac. It really has had this tremendous reputation, and now really not popular at all, is it? In fact, quite difficult to get hold of, I think.
If you have a tree, it produces so many of them you don't know what to do with it. But they are wonderful because they make everything set. If you want apple pie to have that sort of nice jelly bottom, and if you want to make any jam set, shove some quince in.
Yeah, that and medlar fruit, which was the other fruit that was very popular, particularly in medieval times.
You know what the name for medlar is, the Victorian name? Dog's ass.
Oh, is that right?
If you look at the end of a medlar, guess what it looks like?
Does it look like just like a
Dog's ass.
There's one street in London called Medlar Street where there are still some medlar trees, but I don't think anybody picks the fruit because people don't know what to do with it.
I would have preferred Dog's Arse Street, wouldn't you?
Anyway, I think generally people should pay more attention to quinces. Now for a question that may make you feel a little queasy. Where can you find the world's most disgusting food?
What I think so interesting about that is that it depends where you are.
You're right, it is entirely to do with cultural context, but there is actually a disgusting food museum. It is in Sweden, it is in Malmö. So what they have said, the rules for the food that is allowed to be in the Disgusting Food Museum, they have to be considered disgusting by some people somewhere in the world. They have to be genuinely eaten by some people somewhere in the world as a choice, OK, so not through necessity, and they mustn't be a foodstuff that has been created just for tourists. So, for example, they have bull testicles, which in the United States are eaten as prairie oysters or Rocky Mountain oysters. Those are the testicles, in case you ever, like me, had never seen them before. Mongolian Mary, which is a sheep's eye in tomato juice, which is regarded as a hangover cure in Mongolia. That is a bull's penis there. And penis, very popular in drinks. It takes 3 penises to make Chinese 3-penis wine. You need a... I know. It's well named.
Wait, what now?
Yeah. You need a seal, a deer and a dog.
Could I have a last glass of triple dick, please, mate?
But bull's penis crops up all over the world. In Bolivia, darling, there's a soup. They make bull's penis soup in Bolivia. You did not have that?
Oh, maybe I did.
Most commonly eaten by pet dogs as a chewy treat. The bull's... just say. They don't have any food in the Disgusting Food Museum that involves any animal cruelty, so they talk about pate, but they don't show you.
All the penises have been donated.
Yes. Here's the thing that I like about it. There's a huge number of people who visited the museum, and they report a drastic reduction in meat consumption after they've been to the museum, and vomiting has been a slight issue. Rather cleverly, though, all tickets to the museum are printed on a sick bag. Disgust is a universal evolutionary function. We need it in order to avoid disease and unsafe food and so on. But what we find disgusting is not.
It's interesting. I think we're all going to end up eating lots of insects.
Yes.
Because they're very nutritious.
Before the night is out.
They're delicious.
I don't know why we don't eat more rabbit in this country.
They're delicious.
Yeah.
No, right, wait, no, I've been on this show, I've had this before, it kills you.
What rabbit?
Too much rabbit. I remember when the big man with a... when he was on. Well, there was an episode when something and he went, oh, it'll kill you, Ma. And he,
Yes, if you only eat rabbit, it might kill you.
Yeah.
I was suggesting the odd meal. Right, now it's time for the round that's guaranteed to make Alan's stomach turn. General ignorance. Fingers on buzzers, please. What is the most expensive liquid on Earth?
It's probably a wine.
Oh,
Yeah, anybody else?
Elvis's bathwater. There's someone doing little vials of beef.
No.
Yeah.
Really?
Go online, have a look.
And people are buying
Little
it.
vials of bathwater.
Yeah, because when he died, everybody went, oh, I know, save the bath
Yeah,
water.
exactly, yeah.
I thought he died on the toilet.
Yeah, that's much cheaper, that water.
We think the answer is probably racehorse semen. There is an internet factoid that says scorpion venom is the most expensive liquid on Earth. It is 30 million pounds per gallon. But here's the thing about scientists. They've worked out a new way of breeding and milking scorpions. It's brought the price right down. Oh, yes.
Oh, they've ruined the market's craft.
I know. You can now get a gallon of scorpion venom for a mere £70,000.
Now, come on, Daisy, put your stinger in the milker.
A gallon is a lot.
It is a lot. You can get a gallon of LSD for £123,000.
It's on off Waitrose.
Chanel number 5, £20,000 per gallon. Printer ink, £2,000 per gallon. We're heading down the prices here.
Shit, that is a racket, isn't it?
That is a racket. But the most expensive liquid that we can find seems to be racehorse semen. So, for a mare to be serviced by a famous thoroughbred called Galileo would cost the owner about £540,000. The average volume of a stallion's ejaculation is 65 mil. So, Galileo would have to ejaculate 70 times in order to produce 1 gallon of semen, and so his semen would be worth almost £50 million per gallon. It is the most expensive thing.
Wow!
I know.
How much is a man's semen worth?
Yours, a quid.
Yeah.
What, a gallon? In Poundland?
Horse semen is much more expensive than printer ink, but even if it was cheaper, it would probably cause some kind of paper jam. Now, what is traditional marmalade made from?
Quinces?
Oranges.
Prue had it right. What did you say?
Quince.
It is, absolutely. I said you should pay more
That's
attention
what I
to
meant.
quince. Have you ever made quince marmalade?
I have.
Yeah.
It makes very good marmalade.
Yeah, so etymologically speaking, marmalade should be made from quince. Anybody know where we get the word marmalade from?
Well, the myth is it's Malade, isn't it?
Yeah.
It was Mary, Queen of Scots.
That Mary Queen of Scots supposedly ate it when she was sick, and it was the French, she is sick, and so they made the marmalade. It's absolute nonsense. It comes from an old word for quince. It's Portuguese marmelo, and it's just means quince, that's all. I told you we should pay more attention to quinces. I said this earlier, nobody was listening.
Well, I refuse.
Joe, why might you not want to be a marmalade madam?
I don't like fruit.
What do you reckon, marmalade madam?
You run a brothel and you
Yes.
get paid in jam for your hookers.
Well, you don't run the brothel, you are a prostitute. It was a 17th, 18th century.
You have to make them toast afterwards.
Remember I said quince was an aphrodisiac?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so it was still believed that it was an aphrodisiac, and the young ladies of the night were known as marmalade madam.
I used to live next to a madam of a brothel. She used to tell me which newsreaders used to come in. They're not telling you, oh, yeah.
Did one of them, just before he finished, go, and finally...
No.
This just in.
And now showers. Oh, my God, I'm joining in. Which brings us to the belly of the beast, the scores. Let's have a quick... Oh, this is very good. In first place, absolutely marmalising the competition. With 6 points, it's Phil.
Not a real quiz. This is not a real quiz.
In second place with 2 points, it's Alan. And in penultimate place, making a fantastic debut with -1, Prue. But busting a gut, yet still in last place with -13, Joe. My thanks to Prue, Phil, Joe and Alan. And it's time, ladies and gentlemen, please, with this quaffing quotation from Terry Pratchett. There are better things in the world than alcohol, but alcohol sort of compensates for not getting them. Cheers.